Had a great experience during the service. I like to say it more or less gave me direction as far as what I'd be doing later on in life. Having met those people, having experienced those things alongside, people who I consider to be good friends and colleagues, it changed sort of how I view the world and sort of burst the little New York City bubble, for better or worse. Leaving the service, I knew that I wanted to go to school, but that was almost just about all that I knew. I didn't really connect with the ancillary services that were here in New York. I didn't know where to find things when I returned home to New York, and everything was sort of scattered and piecemeal between different agencies, right? So there was no sort of one central place where I'd come to and find all things veteran, if you will. So that made my transition, I would say, a little bit more difficult than need be, actually. My transition was sort of what led me to advocacy work, seeing there was a gap and a need for sort of veteran services and just more help in connecting veterans with services. It led me to advocate for things like, well, when I was in school, more transfer credits for military service and things of that nature, which led to school policies changing and assisted me with my work when I was working at CUNY. If you're a veteran returning back to New York City, there are resources out there, but they're in such a scattered, or they were in such a scattered way that it led me to myself and a group of other people to sort of advocate for the city to create an agency, one central place where veterans can go and get information and resources and help on all things veteran. And by advocating and eventually passing the law to create a veterans agency, we were able to sort of centralize all things veteran, right? So if you're a veteran transitioning to New York City, you just have to reach out to the Department of Veteran Services, and they will connect you to education resources, mental health resources, employment resources. When I speak to employers, I like to approach it as here you have a young veteran who has a lot of skill, drive, and potential, right? We're talking about a demographic of people who don't really know what it's like or haven't really experienced what it's like to call out sick, right? The mission is the mission and the work is the work. I then implore employers to tap into that potential, use that resources, and not only hire the veteran for the work that's being done, but to provide mentorship, because this is somebody that's going to be able to be a leader in your company with enough guidance and with enough resources and with enough mentorship, right? You'll have much more than an employee. You'll have a cornerstone of your organization that'll help your organization grow that much more, should you provide the proper resources to sort of custom tailor the veteran to be that leader in your company. The one thing that people could do at this moment in time to support a greater change, both in their communities and in the nation as a whole, is to just recognize other people, right? And I think we'll we'll sort of frame it in the sense of the pandemic, right? If you think about, what's going on around us and people who are sick, people who are passing away, unfortunately, from the pandemic, a connection to other people, and again, thinking above oneself would be, I may be young, I may be healthy, I know that I can recover from if I caught this virus, but the reason that I wear a mask is because there are others in my community who may not, right? And I don't want to be a carrier for that. In this day and age and in this time, I find myself sort of, my way of thinking above myself is to, here's some food items that I would normally purchase when I go shopping. Let me purchase a little extra and donate to a food pantry, right? Because they're gonna come in handy to someone who may be out of work for whatever reason, whether it be due to pandemic or their source of employment has closed down because of a slow downturn in business and things of that nature, right? So just to uh, the way to get through sort of these difficult times, for me at least, is to think above and think outside of your box and your circle and what you're used to, and just be considerate of others. And then naturally, by doing that, I think you'll find yourself sort of being of service and sort of pushing through these times.